In last video, we have calculated range, and how to calculate range. We have discussed that the range is the difference between the largest and smallest item, and the coefficient of range is a relative measure of the dispersion is over there. In today's video, we will discuss how to calculate interquartile range and percentile range. It is also a extension of the range method. For if we are to calculate the dispersion of the middle 50% of the data, then we have to calculate interquartile range. So here we are having interquartile range. For the interquartile range, we will having Q3 minus Q1, because here we will say Q3 shows the 25% extension of the 25% of the data, because the quartile divide a series into 4 parts. Each part contains 25% of the data. So when Q1 shows the 25% of data and Q3 shows the 75% of the data. So if we are to calculate the range between 25% of the 50% of the data, so what we will do, Q3 minus Q1, that is called interquartile range, that is 75 minus 25, that is 50% of the data. So if you are to having the dispersion of the middle 50% of the data, then we will calculate the interquartile range, that is called Q3 minus Q1. Second one, if we are to calculate the dispersion of the middle 90% of the data is over there, so then we have to calculate the percentile range, that is called PR. So this is clear. To calculate the dispersion of the middle 50%, so in Q1 25% leave, in Q3 this 25% leave. So the middle 50% of data, if we are to having the dispersion of middle 50% of data, then we will calculate interquartile range. It's an extension of the range. Already we have gone through with the range method. So this is the extension of the range method. If in question someone is asking that the dispersion of the middle 90% of the data, then we have to calculate percentile range. Percentile range is equal to P90 minus P10. Here percentile range, P10 shows the 10% data and P90 shows the 90% of the data. It means we are having 10% here and remaining 10% here. So percentile range is equal to P90 minus P10. It means if we are having the dispersion of the middle 80% data, it show the middle 80% data. So if in question this have asked that show the dispersion of the middle 80% of the data, then we have to calculate the percentile range is over there. So I am having the example of this question where they have in question they ask the extension of the 50% middle 50% of data or middle 90% of the data. Okay, so we are having this two types of the range is over there. One is quartile range, that is Q3 minus Q1, and second one is percentile range. I am having a question of this. The question is given that 100 students obtain the following marks in the examinations. Find the range of the marks of middle 50% and middle 80% of the student. The question is given, X is given 46 to 50, okay, then 41 to 45, then 36 to 40, then 31 to 35, then 26 to 30, then 21 to 25, 16 to 20, 11 to 15, 6 to 10 and 1 to 5. Frequency is given, that is 2, 5, 5, 6, 10 and remaining 30, 20, 15, 5 and 2. This question is given. Here the range, the class interval is 1 to 5, 6 to 10, 11 to 15, 16 to 20, 21 to 25, 26 to 30 and this, and the frequency is given. To solve the easy pattern of this, I am writing from here 1 to 5, 6 to 10, 11 to 15, 16 to 20, 21 to 25, 26 to 30, 31 to 35, 36 to 40, 41 to 45 and 46 to 50. Our class interval was in descending order, so the very first I arranged the class interval in ascending order is over there to get the easy result. It's important. Next, the frequency is given, that is 2, then 5, then 15, then 20, then 30, then 10, then 6, then 5, then 5 and then 2. So the very first what we have to do, the very first we have arranged the class interval from descending order to the ascending order. Okay. Next, this class interval are in inclusive form. So to solve the problem, the very first we have to change the class interval into the exclusive form. Okay. So first I am changing the class interval in exclusive form. So for changing the class interval in exclusive form, the difference is 1. So we have to do minus and plus difference by 2. So the difference is 1 by 2. So the minus and plus 0.5 we have to do. So we will subtract 0.5 from the 1 and add to 0.5. So here 0.5 to 5.5. Second 5.5 to 10.5. Subtract 10.5, adding 15, 15.5. Then 15.5 to 20.5, then 20.5 to 25.5, here 25.5 to 30.5, 30.5 to 35.5, 35.5 to 40.5, next 40.5 to 45.5 and last one, that is 45.5 to 50.5. So the very first what we have done, the very first we have do ascending order to descending order to ascending order. Second step we have taken, that the class interval was in inclusive form. So the very first we have changed the class interval in exclusive form by subtracting and adding 0.5 to the each item. Okay. Now this is not required. So we are having two items. The one is class interval and second one is frequency. Here the class interval and here the frequency is over there. Okay. Now two question ask, calculate the range of the middle 50%. The very first question is calculate the range of middle 50%. 50% of data. The very first question is asked by this, that the calculate the range of middle 50%. Okay. For middle 50%, for middle 50%, we have to interquartile range, that is Q3 minus Q1. Okay. So Q1 is equal to size of n by 4th item value. So the Q1 is equal to size of, the very first we have to calculate cumulative frequency of this. So I am shifting frequency here to 5, 15, 20, 30, 10, 6, 552. I shifted here. Now I have to calculate the cumulative frequency. For calculating the Q1 CF, we have to calculate CF 2, 5 or 2, 7, 15 and 5, 20, 20 and 15, that is 35, 30 plus 35 plus 30, that is 65, plus 10, that is 75, plus this 81, then 85, 85 and okay, 86, then 91 and 93. There is something that may be the wrong in your question, so I am repeating. 2, 5, 15, 20, 30, then 10, then 6, then 5, 5 and 2. Okay. So first 2, 7 and 15, here the 22. We have done a mistake here. Then 22 and 20, 42, then 72, then 82, then 88. Okay, 88 and 5, that is 93, and then 98 and then 100. Okay. So for calculating Q1, that is 100 divided by 4th item value, that is 25th item. 25th item lies the very first here. So this will be the range of Q1. This will be having C and this will be having frequency. So the Q1 is equal to L1 plus I upon F N by 4 minus C. The exact location of Q1, we will apply the formula Q1 is equal to L1 plus I upon F N by 4 minus C. Already we have gone through with this formula in calculation of the partition value is over there. So here the L1, the lower limit of this is equal to 15.5 plus class interval between both of them is equal to 5. The frequency is given 20. Here 25, N by 4 is given. N by 4 is equal to 25 and pre-cumulative frequency is equal to 25 minus 22. Okay, so that is 15.5 plus 1 by 4 multiplied by 3. So 15.5 plus 0.75, that is 16.25. Now we have to calculate Q3. Q3 is equal to size of 3n by 4th item value, that is 3 multiply 100 divided by 4th item value, that will be 75th item. So the very first 75th item include in here, that will be value of Q3. So the Q3 is equal to L1 plus I upon F 3n upon 4 minus C. The formula for calculating the value of Q3, that is L1 plus I upon F 3n upon 4 minus C. L1 stands for the lower limit of the class interval. I stand for the difference of the class interval. F stands for the frequency of the class interval, and C is equal to pre-cumulative frequency of the class interval. So in this, the C will be here, F will be here. Okay. So whatever we are having 25.5 plus I is equal to 5, F is equal to 10, here 75 minus cumulative frequency 72. So the value is 25.5 plus 1 by 2 multiply 3. So 25.5 plus 1.5, that is 27. So the value will be having 27. Okay. So the very first, what we have to do, we have calculated 16.25 and 27. Now interquartile, for calculating the interquartile range, we are having interquartile range is equal to Q3 minus Q1, may be having 27 minus 16.25. So this will be having 10.75. So the very first we have calculated the dispersion of the middle 50% of the data. For getting the middle 50%, we have to calculate Q3 and Q1, and lastly the interquartile range, that is Q3 minus Q1. So 27 minus 16.25, we are having the result of 10.75 which over there. Next one, we are to calculate the middle 90% of the data. The second question is given, that is calculate the range of middle 90% of the data. So middle 90% of the data, your second question is calculate the range of middle 90% of the data. For getting percentile range, we have to calculate P90 minus P10. So P90 is equal to size of 90 n upon 100 item value. That will be a formula. So 90 by 100 divided by 100 is equal to 90th item value. So the very first 90 is including here. So our P90 lies between 35.5 to 45.5. So P90 L1 plus I upon F 90 n upon 100 minus C. The formula for calculating P90, L1 is the lower limit of the class interval, I is the class interval, F is the frequency of the class interval, C is equal to pre-cumulative frequency of the class interval. So our class interval is 35.5 to 40.5. So this will be the frequency and this is a C. So calculating L1 is the lower limit, that is 35.5. F is the class interval, F is equal to 5. The frequency is also 5. Here 90, that is 90 n upon 100, 90 n upon 100 is 90, and pre-cumulative frequency, that is 88. So this value is equal to 35.5 plus 2, that is equal to 37.5. ये 5 से 5 to 5 cancel. 90 minus 88, that is 2. So the very first one, that is P90 is equal to 37.5. Next P10 is equal to size of 10 n upon 100 item value. So that will be 100, 10 multiply by 100 by 100 item value, 10th item value, 10th item value. 10 very first include in this, here 2, here 7, here 10. So our value of P10 lies between 10.5 to 15.5. So the frequency will be here and pre-cumulative frequency will be here. So the P10 is equal to L1 plus I upon F 10 n upon 100 minus C. So L1, the lower limit is 10.5. Class interval difference between 15.5 to 10.5, that is 5. Frequency of this limit is 15. 10 minus pre-cumulative frequency is equal to 7. So 10.5 plus 5 multiply 3 upon 15, that is 10.5 plus 1, that is 11.5. For getting percentile range, middle 90% range, we having P90, 80%, not 90%, we have done wrong here, 80%, middle 80% data. So 80% data, P90 minus P10 is over there. The value of P90 is 37.5 and this is 11.5. So the 37.5 minus 11.5, that is 26. So with this video, you may be now, if we are to calculate the range of middle 50% of the data, we have to calculate interquartile range, that is Q3 minus Q1. If in question asking is over there the middle 80% range of the data, then we have to calculate P90 minus P10 is over there. Similarly, if other things is required, suppose in question they require middle 70% of the data. So very easy. If how question is asking, you can making the problem as the question is asking. Suppose in question calculate the range of 90%. देखिए this calculate the range of middle 70% of data. So P85 minus P15, middle 70%. Because 85 minus 15, that is 70%. Middle 90%, 80%. Then P90 minus P10. Middle 90%, then P95 minus P5, that is middle 90%. So this, from this type of calculation, we can calculate the range of middle 50%, middle 80% data also. So I think this video will be beneficial to calculating the range of middle 50% data or middle 80% of data. If you are feeling any kind of the problem is over there, you can leave a comment on this video. So I will try to solve your problem with your phone number. You can leave a comment if you are not understanding whatever I am teaching is over there. I think this will be having the very beneficial video for you. Thank you.